Welcome back. We are on episode 8. Over to my gran.
Hi there. We're back to the joys of farming. What I want to say, farming and town life are totally different. So, of course, being a town girl, I had to learn all over again. And gradually, I introduced the farm things into my life. Now, our next episode, we had to have poultry, because your poultry, you get your eggs. From the eggs, we used to keep the meat. So what I used to do, I used to buy day-old chicks, and you'd separate the males from the female. The females would give you your eggs, and then we just use the chickens for meals. Um, and this, as I say, this was quite exciting because for me it was so different to watch the different sexes. So we had to separate them. And I used to we had a run for the fowls where we used to have to collect eggs every day. And then the roosters we'd put in another paddock. And one particular day, my daughter said she would like to go and see if there were any eggs in the haystack. It was some fowls that were running loose, and off she went. Next thing we heard screams coming from from where she was, and my husband ran to have a look. And leghorns or little fowls, they're the smallest in the poultry, but the males are very cheeky, and they had seen her, and this group of males which I'd kept had all tackled her. Well, this was quite something. Anyway, my husband went into the rescue, and it was too funny. He was in the end, they had sort of tackled him. He was kicking roosters from in all directions to get them off my daughter. But this is one of the things, the funny things that happened. And another thing, when I used to get my day old chicks, my husband bought me an incubator, and we put it in the garage, and you let the incubator is something that keeps the whole room warm. So those chickens used to eat all day. So you can imagine how quickly they grew. And this is something else I found out. And this was all so different to a town girl that just used to just go to work and go back at night, to have all these things happening. So now you have to think, what is the next thing? What's the next thing that's going to happen? Well, as I said to you, we were 17 miles from Haaflets. So when the children first went to school, we had them boarding with somebody in Haaflets. And then it was sad because you're losing your children at such an early age. Anyway, we decided, because there was a bus that used to go up and down, we would send the children to school by bus. So early in the mornings, it was very cold in the winter, and we used to have the the fun of waking the kids up and getting them ready for school, because the bus used to leave very early. And they'd run, and we had an Aga stove, and they'd run and put their clothes in front of the stove to warm it, to get warm, so they could put their clothes on warm, and then go up to the bus, and we'd have to drop them there. And then, of course, it was like a whole day, because when they came out of school, they had to go then wait at the station for the bus to bring them back. But it forms a closeness. You get friends, and you get very friendly with your friends. And one day we found out that my eldest son was actually driving the bus. I nearly freaked. The chappie that drove the bus was a very nice. He wasn't married, but a very nice man. And of course, the kids all made friends with him. And gradually they would jill their way in. Well, as I say, my eldest son he was very good at driving. His dad taught him at a very early age. And here he is driving the bus. Well, of course, steering it, I should say, not driving it. But these were things that the farming kids learned so quickly, very much quicker than the town children. They learned responsibility. Um, like, for instance, if the pigs need to be fed and there was a shortage of staff, the two boys would go down and they'd watch whoever's feeding the pigs and perhaps give a hand. So that the farm children, I think, have a lot more responsibility in what they have to do. The same with the school. There was so much, but there's so much closeness there because when they had school sports, the mothers all used to meet and get together. So it's not like today. You suddenly found yourself friends with somebody else because your child was friendly with their children. So farming to me is a sociable. I don't know what it's like now, but in my day, the farming was a more sociable gathering of people together. Because if your neighbor wanted help, they would just come along, and you naturally would help. So we were put there to help each other, and that is another joy of farming. So being Sunday today and being Heritage Day, I'm going to sign off and carry on with our chat tomorrow. We're on holiday. We've got a long weekend, so it'll be more relaxing. Hope everybody's had a good Heritage Day. We've had quite a good day. It's just that the weather is so bad, so not so good. So for now, Nicole and I will just say cheerio.